Serangan udara Israel menghantam sejumlah depot dan kilang minyak di Teheran, Iran, pada Sabtu, 7 Maret 2026, malam hingga Minggu, 8 Maret 2026, dini hari. Dalam rekaman yang beredar tampak kebakaran besar dan asap hitam yang menyelimuti ibu kota Teheran. Serangan itu disebut sebagai bagian dari operasi militer yang juga melibatkan Amerika Serikat dengan menargetkan fasilitas energi di sekitar Teheran. 4 fasilitas minyak utama di Teheran dan Provinsi Alborz dilaporkan menjadi sasaran serangan udara. Adapun infrastruktur yang diserang meliputi depot minyak serta pusat transportasi distribusi produk minyak bumi. Serangan pertama terhadap infrastruktur energi Iran dilaporkan menewaskan 4 orang. 2 korban di antaranya merupakan sopir truk tangki minyak yang berada di lokasi saat serangan terjadi. Ledakan dan kebakaran besar sempat melanda area depot minyak hingga menghasilkan kepulan asap tebal. Meski mengalami kerusakan, api yang sempat berkobar dilaporkan berhasil dikendalikan oleh tim darurat. Sementara itu, warga Teheran terbangun dengan pemandangan tak biasa pada pagi hari setelah serangan terjadi pada malam hingga dini hari. Awan hitam pekat menyelimuti sebagian wilayah kota akibat kebakaran di fasilitas minyak. Hujan yang turun di beberapa wilayah bahkan tampak berwarna gelap karena bercampur dengan partikel minyak dari lokasi serangan. Iran kemudian membalas dengan meluncurkan rudal dan drone ke Tel Aviv dan Yerusalem yang memicu kekhawatiran eskalasi konflik di kawasan Timur Tengah. Presiden AS Donald Trump mengemukakan gagasan baru untuk mengirim pasukan darat ke Iran. Pengiriman pasukan itu bukan untuk menggulingkan rezim Iran, melainkan untuk merebut persediaan uranium yang diperkaya di negara itu. Trump menyatakan, tindakan itu sebagai bagian dari upaya untuk membongkar program nuklir Teheran. Pernyataan itu disampaikannya saat di dalam pesawat Air Force One pada Sabtu 7 Maret. Di dalam pesawat, Trump mengancam Iran akan meluncurkan serangan lebih keras lagi.
What are the circumstances where you'd send in ground troops? How are you thinking about that?
I don't even want to talk about it now. I mean, I don't think it's an appropriate question. You know, I'm not going to answer it. Could there be? Possibly, for very good reason. Have to be very good reason. And I would say if we ever did that, they would be so decimated that they wouldn't be able to fight at the ground level.
Are you thinking about the oil facility there? There's an oil facility kind of on the coast of Iran that could be secured by ground troops. There's been some speculation that could be a target.
Well, I don't know what the speculation is, but I certainly wouldn't be able to tell you that. I'd be in trouble with myself if I told you that.
Mr. President, don't you need ground troops to secure the enriched uranium at the nuclear sites?
We're going to find out about that. We haven't talked about it, but it was a total obliteration. They haven't been able to get to it. And at some point, maybe we will. You know, that would be a great thing, but right now we're just decimating them. But we haven't gone after it, but something we could do later on. We wouldn't do it now. Maybe we'd do it later on.
You said you want to be involved in the selection of the next leader of Iran. Can you talk to me?
Well, because I don't want to just come back every 10 years, and mostly you'll have presidents, that won't do that because they don't get it. But we don't want to come back every 5 years or every 10 years and do this. So we want to pick a president that's not going to be leading their country into a war. Do you have any questions for Pete or Steve? Come on up. Strikes against them.
Look, you respond to that allegation. Did the U.S. hit the diesel?
They are among the most evil people ever on earth. They cut babies' heads off. They chop women in half. What they did, take a look at October 7th. Take a look at what they've done over the last 47 years. So I know nothing about a desalinization plant other than to say if they're complaining about a desalinization plant, we complain about the fact that they shouldn't be chopping babies' heads off, okay?
Mr. Wikoff, have you communicated to the Russians not to send targeting information and other assistance to the Iranians?
Strongly said that.
And do you believe that they are?
I hope they're not.
Do you see any evidence?
We don't know, but it's not doing very well. If they are, it's not helping much. If you take a look at what's happened to Iran in the last week, if they're getting information, it's not helping them much.
What would it mean to you if they were? I mean, even if it's not helping the Iranians particularly much, it's still involving themselves in a conflict that they're not directly.
They'd say we do it against them, wouldn't they? Huh? Wouldn't they say that? We do it against them? I don't know. Look, They can give all the information that they want, but the people they're sending it to are overwhelmed. Russia would be overwhelmed too. Anybody would be overwhelmed. We have the greatest military on earth, and I built it in my first term, and unfortunately, I'm forced to use it now. But when you look at what we did with Venezuela, when you look at what we did with the B-2 bombers, that was a very big moment because Iran was going to have a nuclear weapon within 2 or 3 weeks, and that stopped it, and it stopped it cold. And you ask about maybe going back and getting that, something could happen at the right time.
Is Iran running out of missiles and drones, or do you expect those counterattacks to continue with that?
Not only that, manufacturing capability also. We've hit the manufacturing very hard. They're at about 9% of what they sent out in the first 2 days, and we think that's because they don't have that much. We've knocked out about 70% of the launchers. The launchers are a big deal. Very hard to get, very expensive.
You want to talk about leverage. With every passing day, we have more and more leverage because we have more and more capabilities. We're hitting them harder and harder, and they have less of an ability to defend themselves. So we're pressing the offensive every single day, creating all the leverage the president needs for the outcome he wants.
So it sounds like you think they're running out of what are both of the drones and the missiles.
When you look, they're sending in much less drones. They're being decimated now. At some point, I don't think there'll be anybody left maybe to say we surrender, but they're being decimated. And when you look also, all of a sudden they apologized to the Middle Eastern states that they shot at them. I was very surprised to see they did that, but you mark that down as a victory for us and for the Middle Eastern states who are really friends of ours. But I guess they're not going to be shooting at them anymore. They apologized, and we'll see what happens. But that's a big loss. That's a surrender right there. I called it a surrender today. When they apologized and said they're not shooting at them anymore, that's really a surrender to those states and to us.
Serangan udara Israel menargetkan depot bahan bakar minyak, BBM, di ibu kota Teheran, Iran, memicu kebakaran besar di sejumlah fasilitas energi. Sebagai balasan, Garda Revolusi Islam Iran meluncurkan rudal canggih Kheibar Shekan menghancurkan kilang minyak di kawasan Haifa, Israel pada Minggu 8 Maret dini hari. Perang antara Amerika Serikat, Israel, dan Iran dilaporkan semakin meluas sepekan setelah serangan udara gabungan ke Teheran. Dalam rekaman yang beredar di media sosial, api dan asap tebal terlihat membumbung dari area penyimpanan energi yang terkena dampak serangan. Sebagai balasan, Korps Garda Revolusi Iran, IRGC, meluncurkan serangan rudal ke kilang minyak di kawasan Haifa. Serangan itu disebut menggunakan rudal Kheibar Shekan sebagai respons atas penargetan fasilitas energi di Teheran. Langkah tersebut menandai eskalasi baru yang menyasar infrastruktur energi vital. Iran dikabarkan mulai mengerahkan sistem rudal canggih dalam konfrontasi yang sedang berlangsung. Bahkan rudal IRGC memiliki kecepatan hipersonik hingga sekitar Mach 16 saat menuju target sasaran. Rudal tersebut juga mampu memecah hulu ledak setelah keluar dari atmosfer sehingga dapat menyerang beberapa sasaran sekaligus. Eskalasi ini dinilai berpotensi meningkatkan intensitas serangan rudal Iran ke wilayah Israel dalam waktu dekat. Iran tegas menolak menyepakati seruan gencatan senjata dengan Amerika Serikat dan Israel. Menteri Luar Negeri Iran Abbas Araghchi menegaskan bahwa negaranya hanya mau perang berhenti total atau permanen. Jika perang tidak berhenti permanen, maka Iran bakal terus melanjutkan perlawanan demi rakyatnya. Pernyataan itu disampaikan Araghchi dilansir dari AOL News pada Senin 9 Maret. Araghchi mengatakan Amerika Serikat dan Israel telah melakukan pelanggaran kemanusiaan yang berat. Menurut Araghchi, AS dan Israel telah melanggar gencatan senjata yang dicapai untuk mengakhiri perang 12 hari tahun lalu. Oleh karena itu, ia menganggap gencatan senjata dalam perang kali ini tak akan berhasil dicapai. Selain menanggapi soal seruan gencatan senjata, Araghchi juga buka suara soal adanya intelijen Rusia yang memberikan informasi kepada Iran soal titik koordinat lokasi pasukan musuh hingga membuat rudal melesat tepat sasaran. Araghchi menilai bantuan data intelijen itu bukanlah hal yang baru terjadi antara Iran dengan Rusia. Menurutnya bantuan itu bukan suatu rahasia melainkan bentuk kerjasama yang kerap dilakukan. Amerika Serikat dan Israel menargetkan pemimpin tertinggi Iran yang baru setelah Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Seperti diketahui, Iran resmi menetapkan Mojtaba Khamenei putra Ali Khamenei untuk menjadi penerus pemimpin tertinggi. Parlemen Iran menyatakan Mojtaba Khamenei, 56, putra kedua Ali Khamenei, terpilih sebagai pemimpin ketiga Republik Islam Iran dengan mayoritas suara yang sangat besar. Sebelum pengumuman tersebut, Presiden AS Donald Trump dan militer Israel mengancam akan menargetkan siapapun pemimpin tertinggi Iran. Trump mengatakan pemimpin tertinggi Iran yang baru diresmikan tidak akan bertahan lama. Trump mengatakan AS tidak akan membiarkan Iran dipimpin oleh pemimpin yang tidak sesuai dengan keinginan AS. Presiden AS itu mengklaim ada banyak orang dari rezim lama yang dapat menggantikan Ali Khamenei, yang dianggap sesuai dengan keinginan Trump.